Today marks the last day of National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and today a documentary diving into how child sex traffickers break into towns across America is out for the very first time. So joining us today, we have Chairman and President Tim Ballard with Operation Underground Railroad, and JC Holt, who is the Director of Domestic Operations for the organization Underground Railroad right here in Utah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this film that you guys have put together.
Well, this film answers a question about, is this happening in the United States? People think that human trafficking and exploitation is something far, far away. And we got so tired of saying, no, it's happening right here. It's happening right here. We ended up partnering with DNA Films and producing this documentary, which explains how it is happening here and how it's largely hidden, and what are the access points for traffickers and exploiters and predators to get to our kids and help wake up parents and guardians and teachers to the reality of the threat.
And that's the title of the film as well, is it's happening right here. Tell us a little bit on what people may be surprised to know about this disturbing industry in the U.S.
Yeah, you know, we have the opportunity to work with law enforcement all across the United States in all 50 states. And what I think people would be alarmed is that in every community that we talk to, this type of crime is on the rise. And the need for resources is always there, and it's just prevalent in every community. It doesn't respect any background, ethnicity, social class. It just seems to infiltrate everywhere. And I just think people would be really surprised and shocked to know some of the things that are happening in their own backyards.
Like what? What's happening?
In particular, the exploitation of our children, especially online. These criminals, these perpetrators, they meet kids where they're at. And that could be online, on a game, or somewhere else, and they engage them on these platforms that our kids are on every day, all day long, most of the time unmonitored. And so I think it will be shocking for parents to see that reality, and hopefully there will be some more talks at home about how to stay safe.
You were talking about prevention as well, and I know law enforcement is doing really everything they can, but what about parents? What are some things that they should keep in mind?
Yeah. Well, parents are the front lines here,
yes.
You know, and the problem is if you're like a parent my age, let's say, and older, you didn't grow up in a time of internet or cell phones, and so you just can't comprehend what the vulnerability is because you didn't experience it. And I've talked to parents before that say, I asked them, would you ever let your 13-year-old daughter go bar hopping on a Friday night? Oh my gosh, never. Would you ever let your 13-year-old daughter have unfettered access to the internet behind a locked door? Well, that happens every night. That is more dangerous, Mom and Dad. What? And I explain how, and that's what the documentary explains how. That is more dangerous. And there's things that parents can do to prevent it, to stop it, to catch the bad guys, and then appropriately bring in law enforcement when that time comes. And that's what we're trying to wake everybody up to.
So what can parents do? You talked a little bit about supervision. What are some other things that parents should take away from this?
I mean, parents need to know, first and foremost, what is on their kids' phones. What apps, what do they do? You're gonna see a segment with Glenn Beck, who's very popular here in Utah, where he had everything in place, firewalls, physical, virtual, everything, and still a potential predator accessed his kid because he didn't know something that, why would he know that on every gaming, like PlayStations or any gaming system, there's a communication board. So we're used to playing the computer guy or whatever, right? We grew up with that. No, your kids can hit one button and boom, they're talking to whoever. They think it's a 13-year-old from Colorado, when in fact it's some pedophile who could be down the street. And Glenn had this. He talks about it in the documentary. It was this awakening, right? And this is the awakening that we all need to have.
It sounds like we certainly do. Before we go, where can people find more information about Operation Underground Railroad?
On our website at OURrescue.org, we have a very expansive website. We have a YouTube channel. We're on social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and we love to share what we're doing in the world, in the United States, to empower those that are fighting this effort every day.
Tim and JC, thank you so much for joining us and bringing attention to this very disturbing trend.
Thank you.
Thank you.